EC here. Hi guys and gals. Well, I hope you're well. I'm out walking. It's Friday morning and it is, well, let me see, temperature is 22 degrees Celsius, but it's going to go up to around 30 later on. That's pretty hot actually. It's pretty warm. And it's a good reason to be out early for a walk. Actually, I went out to get something. We have a coffee machine that I need to, to clean as far as the, do the usual treatment every now and then with acid-base liquids, just to remove all the, all the tartar and everything that kind of gets into the tubing and so on. And I went over to a store called Aldi. Those of you who live in Europe and in America will know about it. I don't think, as far as I know, it's not in Canada, it's not in Mexico, but it is known pretty well anyway. And it's a discounter, but I like to call it a high-end discounter, at least over here in Switzerland. And we do our shopping there every week. So I went and got the descaler, I guess, as it's called, and noticed that it was from a company called Durgol. Those in Germany will know what I'm talking about. So I mean, that is a good quality, so-called high-end product. Well, I compared the price if I would have bought it directly at the sales place where our coffee machine came from, and it comes out to exactly 50% of what I would have paid. So it really is worth sometimes to, just to look around and see that I was going to say sometimes the main supermarkets really, go and get you. We have noticed since we have been doing our shopping over at Aldi that the cost of our weekly basket, so to say, has gone down immensely. And we can get, I would say, 95% of everything that we need, and anything else, then we'll go to one of the big supermarkets. But a lot of people don't do that. But over here in Switzerland, they pay their employees just as well as the others. And from what I can see, actually, if anything, it's quite interesting because even the people, the employees, they get to do all type of jobs. And I mean by that there's not such a strong hierarchy, as there are in other stores. And it's pretty good because the people, I've been told, a lot of students, a lot of single moms, and I've been told they get the chance to move up. Now, is it true? I don't know. It might be as much or as little as in other stores, but at least I've heard that from several people. Yeah. Anyway, it's kind of an interesting fact. Yesterday, I had a class with my Mexican professor who's teaching me Spanish, and we spoke a lot about politics, religion, and it was kind of fun because both of us said it's a safe place. We can chat about things that you wouldn't in a group because you never know. And the other thing, as we were saying, is that it expands the vocabulary into subjects or topics that you probably wouldn't use as much. So it was good, yeah. And we spoke close to an hour, and we did touch a whole lot of things, not only politics and religion, but other stuff. And I really enjoy it because we're in this conversation mode, but also, we get to know and appreciate each other, and I really like that. the guy's become a friend. I mean, who else? I mean, aside maybe from Mrs. DC and family, but who else do I sit down with basically about 2 hours a week and chat over a whole bunch of topics? And that's part of the whole story, is to have a whole series of topics. We talked about movies the other day, or old TV shows and things like that. We had an amusing little chat about I mean, he's in his early 50s, you know, and I'm in my late 60s. So there's a generation difference there. He's Gen X, I'm a boomer. But a lot of the shows that they had in Mexico were similar, especially when he was a young boy. Like, for example, The Lone Ranger. Now, maybe I've already said this. I might be repeating myself. Age is setting in. The Lone Ranger, for those of you who've been in the English-speaking world, mostly probably Canada and the USA, know the Lone Ranger and his faithful sidekick or companion is the Indian Tonto. Well, in the German, in the Spanish-speaking world, across here, in the Spanish-speaking world, they had to change. They had to change it because tonto in Spanish basically means idiot. You know, a tonteria is an idiocy, and you know, if you're a tonto in Spanish, then it's not. So I often wondered, you know, if it was a play of words. And so I asked him, I said, what was his name in your in the Spanish version? And they're coming over, so I'm moving over. In the Spanish version, he's called Toro, so bull, which of course is very close, but not at all the same thing. So yeah, we had a little chat about that and other things. You know, it's just kind of amusing. It's been quite amusing also to look at the different, I was going to say, political sides in Spain. So like we've been looking at, you know, different ways of presenting the news and not presenting the news and so on, both in Spain and other places. So you can see it's a very rich thing. And you know what? Our vlogs are up to a point like that, but we do have to be actually more careful. You know, I've heard of people losing their channels for so-called hate speech, which actually was just giving out an opinion. It kind of, you know, rustled somebody's feathers, and wasn't actual hate, but contrary opinions. So you do have to be more careful, actually, on YouTube. Now, like I say, with my Spanish professor, we do not go into, I would say, areas that would be offensive to one another, that's for sure. But you know what it is. An honest, open discussion is something that's very appreciated. And, well, you know, in our blogs we can allude to things. I mean, there are some rants that are not only alluding, but being pretty mean. But it's more sensitive nevertheless. I mean, we are on social media, and you know how it is. What's there stays forever. So, you know, you have to be careful. And talking about being careful, I'm coming up to 10 minutes. So that'll be it. BC will say goodbye. Hope you have a good Friday. I'm about, I don't know, 10 minutes away from home. So take care, everybody, and have a good weekend. Bye-bye.